Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RDA. This is your Manchester United vs West Ham match preview again for the second time. This time, obviously, it's for the EFL Cup this week, and I think we are. Let me just make sure. If not, we are playing at home. So we're playing them at home in the cup, which is always
Yep.
good for us, good advantage. So if you are new to subscribe, please smash a like. But obviously, we had a game yesterday, and it was West Ham as well. It seemed like lots of people, from what was going around on social media and just the general news everywhere, is that we did perform better. We did manage to get more shots on goal, create more chances, increase the tempo, but we're not where we want to be. But yeah, Clay, we had a night to sleep on it. How are you feeling after a sleep and a reflection on yesterday's performance?
Yeah. Firstly, it's so rare to face somebody just 2 days later in the cup that you just face in the Premier League. It just doesn't happen that often. So this is something very different, and it's something that I think a lot of fans are just looking at, going, "Why? Why is this happening?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of them. But yeah, about the game, I think we're definitely a bit harsh, but I think the second half performance was still very poor, and we receded into our old ways. I think there was progress in the first half. I said that in the show, especially from our fullbacks and Fred to an extent. He's still not good, but there was some improvement there. So I do think we're taking the right step forward, but it feels a little too little. If that makes sense.
Mm.
It's just not enough change has come through to the point where I can be like, yeah, we're looking like the side that's going to dominate games. We're going to be fighting Chelsea for the title. We're going to be fighting City for the title. It doesn't feel like that right now still. Because I feel we're still going to struggle against teams like West Ham, just like we did yesterday. And it still wasn't good enough. It should not be United standard.
Mm.
I get we got the 3 points at the end of the day, but it was genuinely just moments of brilliance. So if there was like a perfectly coordinated team goal where Lingard just did a quick switch of play with Ronaldo, switched, and then he got to the edge of the box like he did before and just scooted himself in, and just a little tap in like that, then I fully respect everyone praising Oli for something like that. But Lingard just came on and he walloped something top, and
Mm.
I'm sorry, all the praise goes to Lingard for that goal. That was a solo magnificent goal. I get he got subbed on, but like Matic played a small little pass over to him and he just walloped it in. It's like everybody giving praise to Pogba for the Bruno finish just last week. It makes no sense. It, it was a solo goal and it completely won us the game. I don't think we've changed that much. I still think we struggle a lot against low block teams. I think we still have the same tactical ineptitude to an extent. I just think the players were more fired up after the loss to Young Boys. And the second half, Ollie just told them shoot more because a lot of those shots were very shit. I'd say
Yeah,
that
they
for the
weren't
least.
clear
There was one
chances, I don't
really,
think.
really good shot at the beginning of the thing where Fabianski made a great save.
Mm.
That's the only time I can go, yeah, that looked productive, but that was once during the game. Just because we shot 20 times doesn't mean we're progressing. We had a game where we didn't score a goal and we shot over 20 times on target. I think it was even in the Europa League, if I remember correctly. So, personally, I don't think shooting a lot more is going to make a difference because our tempo fell off, our passing fell off, and we just got dominated at a point. So, as much as there was some progress, I think it's so minimal that the Aliatas like me and you can still look at this and go, this is negligible. This is not something that we should be praising. This should be the bare minimum of a United team. We should be looking to press a little bit more. We should be looking to bring that tempo. And we barely did it, and we're getting praise for it right now.
Mm.
So I think our standard should be a bit higher as this club, considering Chelsea just beat a derby rival 3-0 comfortably the other day, and we're struggling to beat
I,
West Ham and Young Boys.
Yeah, I was speaking to a
Standards are
Chelsea fan yesterday, and
yeah.
I was just telling him because I was just saying, at the moment, currently, this looks like Liverpool or Chelsea's league to win. Like I know Chelsea are in the current, and there's still a few hard fixtures coming up for Chelsea, and we're about to get into our hard fixtures quite soon. But they've managed to do it. Both Liverpool and Chelsea. I was looking at the results yesterday in the league, and they've mirrored everything. Whenever Liverpool win 3-0, Chelsea win 3-0. Whenever Liverpool win 2-0, Chelsea win 2-0, and they just they're so dominant. There's like no doubt in my mind that those two teams will win week in, week out. I feel like City have dropped off a bit, and I feel like, in a season like this where everyone's on top of their game, those points and those slip ups could be title challenge over. Anything can
Yep.
happen. Obviously, still early days, but when Liverpool and Chelsea are so consistent, it'll take an injury to Liverpool, or it'll take, I don't know, something, a massive dip in form for Chelsea. So, and I just don't think we are playing a style of football where it's sustainable for a whole season. There will be slip ups. We
Yep.
don't look like Chelsea. We don't look like Liverpool when we play.
And we're
It's
kind of
very
famous for
lucky.
us at this point.
Mm.
Newcastle's a prime example, just complete banter.
Mm-hmm.
Brighton could be another example. It literally was a last-minute VAR call after the final whistle was blown that made us win the game.
The,
Like,
Chel- the, the Chelsea fan I was speaking to said the same thing. They said every time I watch you guys, you're very lucky. You just get extremely
yeah,
lucky. So
we get away with it, but that's just because of the players we have. I really struggle to see how Tuchel doesn't go like invincible with a team like
no, yeah.
this.
So that's what they're all saying. Every rival fan I speak to, or friend
Yeah,
that supports a rival team, they all say like, what? Honestly, if you had one of our managers, you guys would probably win the league very easily, and it became over. And
yeah,
I agree. So it is what it is. But we play West Ham again. We go again. No bubbles at this stadium. Don't know who the ref is. Don't want to know who the ref is because we are getting shafted with refereeing decisions lately. I don't know what's happened. There's some sort of agenda against Manchester United. It's almost like because we had so many penalties the previous season, they don't want to give no penalties to us, even though it's not our fault. It's legit penalty shots. They are legit penalty shots. It's not like
yeah.
we are theatrical teams. But anyways, moving into this game now. In terms of priority, where do you think this stands? Because like you said, Ollie has to win a trophy this season, regardless of what situation it is. But where do you think the EFL Carabao Cup stands in the list of priorities? Do you think it's because some would say if you want to win a trophy this season, just focus on the cups like EFL Cup, Carabao Cup. The other big teams don't really
Yeah.
take these competitions too seriously, and we probably still won't likely to win the Premier League or Champions League. So
Yeah, to an extent, but I feel that should not be the United way. I don't feel like we should be lowering expectations to accommodate a manager who can only win things like that at best, because he still hasn't proven any kind of progress to doing that. He hasn't won shit for us. He's come close, but he's always choked. And if you want to set your sights that low, go for it. But we're Manchester United. We are one of the biggest clubs in the world. We have a rich football history of winning everything. And if our ultimate goal is the Carabao Cup, I feel that's unacceptable. And because we're not just like a Leicester City who's somewhat there, middling, aiming for just any kind of trophy you can get your hands on, if that makes sense. No disrespect to Leicester. They've obviously come into their own quite a lot over the past few seasons. But we're the top dogs. We should not be lowering our standards and anything lower than the Premier League, the Champions League, and admittedly, the FA Cup is probably the most spectacular out of all of them.
mm-hmm.
So we should be aiming our sights there. But local competitions should not have to be that high on our priority list. I get why people do think they are, but I do think the international is where it's at. Because if you can go out there and prove your worth against the Bayern Munichs of this world, the Barcelonas of this world, Real Madrids of this world, all these teams, that shows a lot more than I think you stomping Norwich 3-0 in the Carabao Cup final, because they did the cup run. So I personally don't think this should rank that highly, and like that team shows, I think we should do a lot of rotation. It should be something that we shouldn't take too seriously, but if the opportunity arises and all other competitions have failed, we should be progressing and we should be aiming for that.
Yeah.
This is a bare minimum thing that we should be aiming for, and any team that we put out should be good enough to beat some of these weaker teams. And if we have to rely on CR7 week in, week out, Bruno Fernandes week in, week out, that says something, because that team right there is really strong.
Mm-hmm.
That team right there is easily challenging for Europe, in my opinion, in the Premier League. That team can challenge for Europe. As much as there are mistakes every now and then from someone like Fred, that's kind of what makes that team that finishes that 7th, 8th spot, That team's more than good enough.
I
That
was going
team's
to
more
say,
than
I think the
capable.
difference this season is that, our second team is actually quite decent and they should be good enough, regardless of being rotated, to win games. And to go on cup runs. I think especially our front three, whoever our front three is, should be definitely good enough. Midfield, it's not our best
Yeah,
midfield by any means, but it's still decent enough.
good enough.
Our
Yeah.
centre back partnerships, it'll be the centre back stuff out last season, so basically they don't change. I think you bring in Delo this time because why not? He's gonna need some game time before Champions League. Rather get him a little bit sharper now in the Carabao Cup than in the Premier League, where if you actually want to take it seriously, De Gea doesn't need to get rested. He's in the form of his life, and Luke Shaw is Luke Shaw. We don't have Alex Tellez, but I think if Tellez is fit enough, play Alex Tellez. I got no problem with that because he's good enough as well. So
Yeah.
so yeah, I want to talk to this team on my left because I think it's very interesting. I think it's very good, and we'll get there. But regards of West Ham's team, do you think we'll see any rotations? Would Antonio play this game possibly this time?
Yes, I would say very much so. I think just because Antonio did technically get a rest, he would be playing this game. But I think if he was playing Europe Premier League and this would definitely be the game against benched. His hamstrings are made out of just absolute candy. We all know this. It can snap at the smallest things. So Moyes knows he has to rest him. So I think this could be a good warm up. But at the same time, got the weekend. Yeah, there should be more than enough time actually. Antonio should be playing. I don't think there should be any complications with that.
I think we can
So
lose this game if we're not careful. I think
yeah,
we can lose this game
I
and get
think
off.
this. Yeah,
So
yeah, I can agree with that. But mainly just because of poor coaching more than anything else. Because I promise you right now, if Varane starts this game, he can hold Antonio back. He shows a lot of just defending
now,
genius when he is playing. He knows
now
what to do.
ironically,
Yeah,
to link up Varane with this whole team thing, I would play Varane and I would rest Maguire in this game. I would rather see Varane and Victor Lindelof than Maguire
yeah,
and Victor Lindelof, 100%.
I'd agree
Because
right now.
he did it in the Champions League for who knows what reason. It didn't work out. So I'd say play Varane, let him get more game time, and then play Victor Lindelof alongside him because Victor Lindelof needs game time. He was our first
Yeah,
team centre back last season. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to trust him in a game like this. So yeah,
exactly. And
but
Maguire was complete dog in the last game,
yeah,
so I really do think Maguire needs some kind of rest right now, at least a mental reset. But overall, that team should be strong enough to beat a West Ham side. Even if West Ham is going full force, this should be the type of team that's rivaling them, in my opinion. They're on par at the very least. But when you start looking at things like Tony Martial and Jadon Sancho, David De Gea, Luke Shaw, you can start to see where the difference in class is, and you can see that we very much are the better team, and we should be winning this on pure skill alone, which is what Oli has been doing his entire United career. Just freestyle it and hope for the best. And I don't want that anymore. It's just so annoying.
thing is, I'm a
Yeah.
bit worried also because I just have a feeling Oli doesn't want to get knocked out too early in this competition. So I'm wondering if he might actually go stronger than this team on my left because this team
Yeah,
on my left
if
it
there's
might be
full
strong,
force team.
but it's a
Oh,
lot of rotation for Oli to do. Oli's not one
yeah,
to big
right.
rotation. This is a big rotation. We got Victor who has to come in, Delo, so that's two players, Matic 3, Donny 4, Lingard 5, Martial 6, Sancho. That's 7 players you'd have to bring in from his last team or his famous
Yep.
first team, which is a bit. It's not an Oli thing to do. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's freaking. You
Uh,
might even not play there. Yeah. You might give someone like Heaton a game. Who knows? Maybe Heaton's got it in his contract. I'll play Carabao Cup. Hendo plays FA Cup, and then De Gea plays the rest now. So
no clue what that situation's going to be like. And again, if Heaton is stellar against West Ham and we're just having this conversation about goalkeepers again, I'm just going to start pulling out my hair. If we see Keaton start ahead of De Gea in the next league game, I'm just going to lose my
I wouldn't
mind.
panic if De Gea doesn't start this game though. I think
No, I wouldn't
De
panic.
Gea is the number one now. After yesterday's performance, he's definitely the number one
I
goalkeeper.
just
It is what it
don't
is.
know with Oli. Oli is a weird specimen. Hendo came out of nowhere and he just took De Gea's gloves and it was done. So I wouldn't be surprised if something similar happens this season when Hendo's fully fit and he is just going. Because Dino's a good keeper, there's no doubt about it, but we'll have to see what happens. And like you said, this rotated team is something Oli is very famous for not doing. He is very much famous for being stubborn and neglecting rotation of his players. So would I be surprised if we see Ronaldo Bruno? Not at all. But is he the dumbest thing on earth for doing so? Yes, 1000%.
I
Because
definitely don't think
I don't
Ronaldo has
care.
to play this game for sure. Bruno
Ronaldo does not
maybe
play this.
just to if it's Bruno where Donny is and then Donny where Fred is, I'll take it. I'll take it. It's fine. Happy days. But for me, Ronaldo definitely not today. We don't need Ronaldo. We don't need
Yeah,
Ronaldo today. And
we shouldn't
I don't
even.
think Ronaldo wants to be top goal scorer of the Carabao Cup winners. He'll be like, you know what, it is what it is. When we make the
Yeah.
final, semi final, play me. I'll go win us the game and win us the trophy. So I
One
don't
thing
think
we have to
Ronaldo would
say,
ask. Yeah.
I think, is Donny has to start this game.
No, yeah. I was gonna get to him. I
Donny
think
has.
for me, there's three players who have to play this game: Donny, Martial, and Jadon Sancho. Those three have to play this game for me this week. So
Yeah. I think arguably also Dallo, because we're gonna have our
yeah, to a certain
champion
extent. But like I
games.
said, Ollie
Yeah,
might just be thinking, I don't want to give him game time. I don't want to make him sharp. Wan-Bissaka's not going to play the Champions League, so I might as well just play Wan-Bissaka until I
yeah,
don't have him. So that's the only reason I'd say I wouldn't think Delo would start that game. But for me, the
exactly.
must has to be Martial, Donny, Sancho. All those three
Yep.
players must not only start, but they must get 90 minutes. They must get the full game
Yeah.
because they haven't. Not neither of them have gotten the full
Sancho's the
games,
only
and they've
exception,
been
I think,
yeah, maybe, but
because he has been getting Premier League minutes, and I'm okay with giving Sancho like 70, but Tony and Donny are non-negotiable 90s. Literally, unless they pick up an injury or a knock or somehow, they need to stay on that pitch for the full 90. They need their opportunity to shine. They need their match fitness.
okay.
And we're not going to get back to a good Martial nor Donny if we keep up like this.
Yeah. But let's speak about this team. So for you, the AI in goal, you don't think Heaton will come in or Hendo will come in?
I have no clue if honestly, if any of them, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm at
that's fair
that point of this goalkeeping situation's a mess.
enough. Okay, fair enough.
No.
Delo, you think Oli will play him? Because I actually don't think Delo will play. It's just,
Uh,
it's a smart thing too.
yeah, I'm in agreement. I think if Oli had a brain cell, Dallo plays, and if he doesn't, then he's just running Aaron into the ground and hoping Dallo will pick up the slack in the Champions League with no match time whatsoever.
Yeah,
Which is an odd thing to do, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I also
But he
wouldn't be
should be playing Dallo.
surprised. The centre back partnership, he never drops Maguire, so I think he will go with Maguire, and I think he doesn't not trust Victor Lindelof. So I think Lindelof will play him. And I think that's good enough. It should be good enough. Actually, no, I lie. If Antonio plays, I'm starting to worry very much.
Yes.
But if Antonio doesn't play, it should be more than capable of dealing with them. So
Yeah. I can agree with that so far.
yeah.
But I think the only argument would be just because of Varane came on against Young Boys to solidify the defense, even though we did concede afterwards. But there's a shout that maybe he thinks
I wouldn't be
we
mad
should
at
be
Varane
free,
playing this game,
potentially.
but I would kind of be a bit mad if Maguire and Varane play this game. One of them did get
Yeah.
rested, I think. So
Yeah.
whoever partners
Maguire.
Victor, it is what it is. I think Varane's better suited to deal with West Ham and Antonio, but if Maguire plays, he plays. He's the captain of Ollie's team, so it is what it is. Luke Shaw is very interesting because I don't know what the full situation with Alex Tellers is, but if Alex Tellers is even just a little bit fit, would you play him?
Yeah, definitely. I think Shaw needs that kick up the arse a little bit, and I think we need to see Taylor just come in and just put in a half decent performance and kind of get us going. Why isn't Shaw quite getting those kind of balls in? Why isn't he making those kind of runs? I think we need to kick him up the arse a little bit, just push him forward like he did last season. Yeah, and maybe it could be he needs a bit of a break, just because he did
Yeah,
play
he
a lot of
hasn't.
games
He
on a
hasn't
fresh
gotten a
break and
break.
came
Yeah,
back.
he hasn't
Yeah,
gotten a break yet, Luke Shaw.
and
From
we
last,
have
and this is
ridiculous
not
depth.
just this season.
Yeah,
This is from last season. He hasn't gotten a break still. So he
yeah.
has played every single game, 90 minutes without fail.
I'm more than alright with Taylor's playing, and I think if Taylor's is fully fit, I have no issue with it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I got no issue with it also.
I think it is just a big injury, though. That's the only concern. So
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
big
Taylor's had a
injury.
big injury.
Yeah, it's a
So
big
I
injury.
wouldn't rush it, personally, but Ali is Ali.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what happens. I hope Tellers is fit because if he's fit, I'm in agreement. I think he has to play for me. Now this midfield is interesting. I think Matic will play because he didn't play in the Premier League, and Oli doesn't mind using Matic in games like this, so he'll play. I I think I'm a bit worried with Scott McTominay just because he came back from injury and we did look a very, broken, and they didn't look like 100% McTominay in the last West Ham game.
No.
I don't think he'll play Donny there. And like I said, if he does play Donny there, then Bruno's playing. So I think he will play Fred. And I think Ollie will do what Ollie does. And the only way Donny plays is ahead of Bruno Fernandes. So, what do you think of the midfield?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption. The Fred situation is a complete mess because he hasn't been performing, and he's clearly Ollie's favourite. As if he can play, he will play right now.
Mm.
And I'm not sure about the Scott situation, just because he basically did do a full 90, and he looked alright for a large part of it. So I wouldn't have too much of an issue with it. But this guy just came back from a surgery. Like it was bad enough to have surgery, and you're playing him immediately for a full game, and you want to play him again. I think that's very irresponsible, and it's going to lead to serious injuries like Rashford's injury. And McTominay has definitely been the better of the pivots. So I would prefer Fred just to make sure McTominay is fully fit, but I don't know. And again, it looks like Bruno is directly ahead of Donny in the pecking order, so it's kind of Bruno or Donny, not so much Bruno and Donny to play in the same team. So we'll have to see how that goes. But Ollie's made it very clear that Donny's a 10, even though he said it himself, Donny can play anywhere across the midfield.
Mm-hmm.
It's very clear that's his intention. So if Bruno starts, I'm very much expecting not to see Donny's name on that team sheet.
So what you're saying is you'll still pick Fred and Matic over Donny?
Yes.
Oof.
This is Ollie.
I think that's I just don't know how he can do it. I wouldn't put it out of reach for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to do, but yo, I don't want to picture it. I don't want to picture it. Donny's already disrespected enough, you know.
Exactly.
To get disrespected more in a Carabao Cup game. Yeah, that's depressing. That's proper depressing. So I fully expect Donny to play this game. Fully expect, and ideally, to be honest with you, I'd rather have him in the Fred position than Bruno plays this game personally. But I think this is probably what Ollie will do if Donny plays. But like I said, if Donny don't play, you might as well be right, because Bruno will come in and that'll be the midfield. So it is what it is. Hey, now this is where things change, because you just pick whoever you want, really. For the front three, pick whoever you want. Like I said, I think Jadon Sancho has to play full 90 minutes for me. I know you don't agree with it, but I want Jadon Sancho to get full 90 minutes. He hasn't gotten full 90 minutes yet, so play Jadon Sancho. Martial is our striker for now. I think if Cavani is fit, I'd rather have Martial on the one wing and Cavani up front, because Cavani should play a game like this if he's fit.
Yeah.
So if not, Martial's our striker. Happy days. We don't have Dan James to throw in a game on us, but we do have Jesse Lingard, who really, really evidently seems to want a new contract at Manchester United. Well, Ollie wants him to have a new contract at Manchester United. And I was just thinking, I wrote on the whiteboard the last West Ham game, the last preview did, that Lingard was going to start. And I actually didn't realize that we actually played them again in the Carabao Cup. So maybe Ollie penciled him for this game and not the league game. So I fully expect Lingard to start. Again, it just depends on who's fit, because like I said, Cavani, if he's fit, I don't know if he'll be fit enough to come straight into the starting 11. Same with Rashford. Rashford is probably not fit enough to come in the starting 11, but I would not be surprised if Rashford's on the bench. We're playing on Wednesday. I'm pretty sure they might have a break today. They probably will do some light training tomorrow, and Rashford is recovering quickly. So everyone's days are kind of numbered when Rashford comes back in, because that's when all he has to deal with the whole problem. Paul Pogba has to get a rest. Obviously, he looked injured, especially walking off West Ham's pitch that day. So wouldn't risk Paul Pogba at all in this game. And some people would shout out for someone like a Greenwood. So some people would say, put Martial left wing, Greenwood in the middle, Jadon Sancho on the right, and that's probably to be honest, that's probably one of our best front threes that we can do. So wouldn't be happy with who plays in the front three, unless it's Paul Pogba. Yeah, because I won't lie. I can't lie to you. I know I wouldn't do it, but if Ronaldo plays, I'm not going to complain either. So.
Yeah, we have so much depth up front. I'll advocate for Elanga even starting this game.
If Langa plays, happy days, he's my second son. I gave birth to him just after Mason as well. So.
I think Lingard is almost certainly going to start. This guy scored 2 goals in 3 games. I think Ollie's completely forgotten about the
this will be a good game for Lingard, because if Lingard's going to prove his value to this team, he should shine in a game like this, especially if he starts.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
this is very much going to be the game where he earns his new contract that Oli wants for whatever reason. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Messi Lingard performance, and I'd obviously like to, because why wouldn't you want to see our players succeed?
Mm.
And Jadon Sancho again, he got benched in the last game. He only got what, not even 20 minutes
10
maybe.
minutes, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. So I think Sancho should definitely be starting. I think it's only a question of if Cavani is fit enough over Martial. So we'll have to see with that. But this is the prime example of when a team like a City or a Chelsea will start using their squad depth. You're not going to see Lukaku start in a game like this. You're going to see Werner start.
Mm.
You're not going to see KDB start in this game. You're going to see Bernardo come in.
Mm.
It's one of those things where we have the depth to rotate, and if we don't use it to our advantage, we're going to burn out our players sooner rather than later. And when our players are burnt out, we get these half-assed draws, and then there's just a moment of magic or frustration from one of our god tier players.
As crazy it
And
could
we
be,
just
I
win.
think that will be up to Ronaldo. I think Oli will ask
Yeah,
him, like, do you really want to play this game? And
yeah,
then, knowing Ronaldo, you'll probably be like, probably not. To be honest, it's fine for this week.
yeah. I got my goal against West Ham. I'm good. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
need
like,
more. No.
just save me for the league, save me for the Champions League. I don't really have to play this game. I'll be on the bench. Worst case, we go 1-0 down. Chuck me on. I'll go win us the game. Trust me. So,
That guys like Ronaldo, go hard in training today. Just think you're in a game, go nuts.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't think I don't see the use in using just the strongest weapon on
The
earth
only
right now.
reason I could picture Ronaldo starting this game is if Telles and Delo were playing, and Ronaldo wants to play this game just to see how it'll work with
How-
the fullbacks. That's the
Well,
only reason I would play Ronaldo.
yeah,
But even
but
then, you don't
Ronaldo
really need
can't play
Ronaldo because the fullbacks can still do the job. If Martial doesn't score it, it is what it is. At least we know that Telles and
Yeah,
Delo are doing their job. So if it was Ronaldo in that position, he'd probably bury them. So you don't really need him.
exactly.
Or Greenwood,
So
even
that'll be
if you
fine.
play Greenwood. Or Elanga. Whoever. Really?
Yeah, we have way too much depth up front, and it's ridiculous. We should be rotating. This front three is more than capable of beating West Ham.
So who
It's
do you
more than
pick in the
capable
front three then?
of beating City, in all honesty.
Yeah, that's one. That's
But
a good one.
personally, I think that front three is it.
You'd play that
I
front
don't.
three. Like,
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Oh, maybe Messi for Elanga. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'd consider. I'd consider playing one of the youth wingers
Thing
for
is,
Lingard.
I
Only
love
the
Ilanga, but I don't know why. I'm so tempted to put Mason Greenwood there by Marshall, move Marshall on the left.
I want to just give Mason a break. I want
I
to let
don't
him
want
ease
to
off a
give him a
little.
break. I want him to fire.
Yeah,
So
that's fair enough.
I don't know. It
Uh,
was like I said, then Sancho can play more because he's supposed to be our right winger. We're not. I didn't really expect Mason Greenwood to be our number one right winger. So
Yeah,
like I
exactly.
said, it should be a bit reversed. We should be saying Greenwood should probably be 100% starting game rather than not Jadon Sancho. Sancho is probably supposed to be getting a rest at this point if Oli used his squad
Yeah.
correctly. So, but regardless, like I said, whoever we picked in that front three, more than capable to do the job. I trust
Yeah.
Martial. I trust Jadon Sancho. I'm a bit 50-50 with Messi Lingard, but if he performs,
Yeah.
he performs. If he doesn't, I don't think it'll be bad enough where we lose the game. So
Yes.
it is what it
Hopefully.
is.
Actually, knock on wood, because it was bad enough that we lost the game.
It did
So,
happen. That did
capable.
happen.
He's capable of it.
But I am very sure that he does not want to do a single back pass again. So
Yeah.
the only concern I have with us is that I think Oli could pick this front three. But what if I told you? Because it's a very Oli thing to do. That Lingard and Sancho are switched in the wing positions. Because then it's more
No, I
concern.
think it's going to happen. I'm 100% thinking it's going to happen. Sancho played on the right for like 5 minutes, and then there's just Lingard that side, so...
But that's
I
the
fully
problem because
think
then
Oli
honestly I
thinks
swear
that's
to
the left
God that
winger.
Oli thinks he's a left winger then it's like
fine,
so
you're
when
at the
Rashford
10.
comes back I'm not expecting to see Sancho then because you clearly
Yes,
don't think he's a
Sancho's
right
bench
winger.
fodder. Sancho's bench fodder. He's used to set United, he's just bench fodder, glorified bench fodder.
Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I'll be very concerned and like I said we can only tell when Rashford's really back if Sancho actually does go to his proper position on the right
Yeah.
wing. He can play left wing, don't get me wrong, but he's a right winger, so it is what it is. But yeah, other than that, would you change anything from this team?
I would want Varane to be playing this game, and Telles if possible. The goalkeeper situation too is up for it, in all honesty. Fred can get lost, in all honesty.
Mm.
but just creates an issue, you know. Maybe you bring in Hannibal for a game, you know. Hannibal, Donny, Matic front midfield three, you know. Huh?
I'd like it. I'd like it. I'd like to see
Oh,
some
we
youth. I
have
think
such
in
talented
games
youth.
like this year, at the bare minimum, people like Ilanga, Ahmad, if he wasn't injured, should have at least be on the bench, you know? Because at best case, we go 3-0 up or something. You chuck in Ilanga, Hannibal, Shoila, probably, whoever is there, just to get some game time. So
Exactly.
I would like that. I would like that. So
Yeah, not too much to change, but realistically, we're just going to see our full strength team that we played against West Ham yesterday, and we're just going to be like, why?
if
What's the point of the
if
squad
he
depth?
picks, honestly, I think at bare minimum, Ollie's rotation. I think Lingard will definitely come in. I think he likes Tony still, so I think Tony will definitely come in. Central, the front three will come in for sure. I think
I
it's
hope
just
so.
about the rest because the rest could stay the same, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like from
Yeah.
midfield downwards, I wouldn't be surprised if they stood the same. But the front three is so good that I think Wally doesn't mind who plays. He clearly shows that as well. Like Ollie sometimes didn't make substitutions. I know his subs are still kind of late in the game, but he clearly
Yeah.
trusts whoever is in that front three. So we'll just have to see what happens. I really hope. I almost wrote an M. I know Maloto's not here with us.
The habit's real.
The habit is proper real. He's writing exams. So pray for Maloto in the comments. And if you're watching the video, smash a like. Good luck for Maloto.
Exactly.
But yeah, I really hope that Ollie rotates the squad properly, and I hope to see some
Yeah.
youth because that's what you really expect in this game. And like I said, if Ollie played the youth or massive rotation like a massive weak team, and we lost the game because I don't know Hannibal's playing, Ilanga was playing, I wouldn't really be mad. I'll be like, you know what, they tried, they're young lads, whatever. It is what it is. But if we play our full team and we lose, oh my god, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you. But yeah, so Clay, the famous part, score predictions. What do you think is going to happen? West Ham could go strong and smash us, to be honest.
Yeah, they could. I think there's a good shot for anybody to win this game. I think it's a bit of a 50-50 right now. Whoever's up for on the day, whoever has the strongest side, well, we'll take it more likely. And I feel like Antonio is going to be penciled in, so they should be able to score. So I don't think we're going to get a clean sheet, but I'm kind of with you in the fact that if we just play poorly, I'm still going to slate him because Ollie's meant to be managing the tactics, whether we're playing the full first team, whether we're playing kids, whether we're playing what. If there's no tactics on the
I think,
spin,
and
get out.
remember, worst case, let's just say West Ham go 1-0 up, and that's like
Yeah.
60 minutes.
You have CR7 on the bench.
Ronaldo is coming on. Ronaldo, Bruno, they're
coming
all
on.
Varane, whoever it is, they all coming
Exactly.
on. So
It's really weird to go. We can just bring CR7 off the bench. Why are we worried? Play the kids. It's fine. You have such star talent on this team that you really can rotate the squad and be fine.
now that
Because
I'm
worst
thinking
case,
about it,
just have him on.
I think Ronaldo will definitely feature Wednesday now because you might not
Yeah.
want to start this game, but I tell you what, if Ronaldo wants a goal, he will get a goal. So
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'll just go with the classic 2-1.
you see, now he's still
Yeah.
nine. You see,
Yeah. Because I see ourselves still stealing the game, but I definitely do see West
remember
Ham
we're at
scoring.
home also, so
Yeah.
the crowd at home is going to be up for it. So it is
Yeah,
what it
but the
is.
crowd's good though.
Yeah, this is tough. If he goes and picks that team, still, we should win this game. I've given up with clean sheet hopes because Varane is defending alone, and I feel for him. So yeah, I've given up with the clean sheet. If it's a draw in 90 minutes, does this go to penalties or does this go to second leg? Because I'm actually not
don't
sure.
know.
I'm not sure.
I think just with the COVID climate as it is, they've still scrapped the second legs for now, so I'd assume pens.
Okay, well, I'm not too sure.
Could be wrong. Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Sounds
I
correct.
was going to predict the draw and just shithouse my way to a penalty or second leg or something.
Yeah.
Because you took the best result in football predictions.
Exactly.
It's always weird this because every time there's a game like this, I always feel like we play way better, but then something can go wrong, and I just don't think the quality of plays are the same. But I think overall we play better in games like this where it's like way less pressure, and it's actually a very rotated squad because Matic and Donny are actually way better players in the midfield. So it's Tony. I'm gonna be nice to them. I still back those front three. Let's say Sancho gets a goal contribution. Let's say Martial gets a goal contribution. I'll say Lingard gets a goal contribution. The midfield should be good enough. We're not going to keep the clean sheets up. I don't know if I said this. No, I just said 1-1. but I changed it to 3-0 because Ronaldo tax last time. So 3-1.
Oh,
If Ronaldo comes on, that's 4-1, by the way. So just know. And if Ronaldo
fair enough.
starts, it's a hat trick. So,
Alright.
but yeah, I think happy days. Like, is there anything else you would like to mention in this game? Because, like I said, this is City's Cup as well.
No.
Let's not forget this is actually City's Cup. So
That's true. So yeah, I just don't think this should be a cup we're taking all that seriously. I
still
think
want
we
to
should
win
be
it though.
rotating.
Still want to win this game at least.
Yeah, we still want to win every game that we come up against, of course, but the squad that we put out is going to be good enough regardless of who features, I think. And we just need to show a bit more of what we showed in the first half against West Ham, a bit more consistently. If we can start seeing some progress being made on that front, I think we're going to be a lot happier as United fans.
Yeah, I think so. And like I said, this is Ollie's chance to play, well, to improve the football. I wouldn't say it would be perfect, but like, you know, last game was clearly some sort of progress, as minimal as it was. Like I said, Fred Tex was real. I was almost going to give him a 6 for passing forward, but like, let's see
Yeah.
now. Let's improve on it. Constantly improving. You know, I'm not ridiculous to think things will change over one game just like that. But you know, as long as you can keep seeing improvement, happy days. And as long as you keep winning, happy days. Dare not start Donny or Tony or Sancho though. You're getting a 0. I don't care what the result is. You're getting 0. So, anyways, if you did enjoy this video, smash a like, comment down below your predicted team and your score predictions, and we'll see you on Wednesday for another West Ham match reaction. I'll check you all very, very soon. Goodbye.